This wedding was an assignment for my Religion 2 class in Catholic school.
This one's wife. I don't have a voice, the narcissist whines. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. We now have from the Mirror newspaper an excellent example of the impatience and whining nature of the narcissist that is this one's wife. That it demonstrates her sense of entitlement, the way that she doesn't understand the way that things ordinarily work, and that she needs to be the one that's always dealt with first, that she's the most important individual, which causes her to sharpen her elbows and essentially push ahead of everybody else, often making her look stupid. Emma Mackenzie explains, this one's wife whispered, "Don't I have a voice?" under her breath at royal event. Oprah's groundbreaking interview with the Sussexes was brimming with bombshells, including the moment this one's wife was asked if she had been silent or were you silenced, and claiming it was the latter. This one's wife opened up about feeling unable to use her voice while she was a working member of the royal family, and how much she valued independence. This moment in the 2021 interview was widely seen as the first time this one's wife had opened up about feeling voiceless as a royal. But one writer claims that the Duchess had already expressed this dissatisfaction with being unable to speak up and feeling that her voice was devalued many years beforehand. This one's wife reportedly asked, "Don't I have a voice?" at an event with her husband, Prince William, and Kate Middleton. Mail on Sunday columnist Sarah Sands claimed in 2020. The episode is said to have taken place during a broadcast involving the four royals, then dubbed the Fab Four. The journalist claims the microphone was passed from William to Kate and then Harry. Sarah states that this one's wife then icily asked, "Don't I have a voice?" She apparently muttered the question under her breath, and it was heard by those close enough to hear her. Sarah writes, this one's wife's ordeal in Britain was, to her mind, the subjugation of her voice. A colleague, who was at a broadcast by the royal family's short-lived Fab Four, how poignant it is to recall the two couples looking so happy together, remembers the microphone moving down the line. William, Kate, Harry, this one's wife. At the end of the line, she was disinclined to wait. "Don't I have a voice?" she asked icily. Now, that is an excellent example of showing how she, as a narcissist, is impatient, entitled, and can't maintain the facade particularly well. She believes that she should be first. And when William speaks, he's probably painted white, which means that she can cope with that she will sit there smiling. But then when it goes to Kate, she'll start to feel some unease because everybody's looking at Kate. Their reactions are towards Kate and not this one's wife. She's not getting any fuel. Attention is going elsewhere, and this starts to erode her need for control. That she starts to feel this uncomfortable sensation. She doesn't know what it is, but it's generated by the reaction of her narcissism to the fuel levels starting to dip because she's not receiving any, and the fact that she's being made to feel unimportant because the attention is going towards Catherine and not her. Then it gets worse. Harry is next to speak. So once again, she is denied the opportunity to garner fuel by speaking and causing people to respond to her, and it continues to erode her sense of control. The anguish increases, the irritation starts to surface, the ignited fury is making its way now to the surface. The facade management of her narcissism is desperately trying to keep that ignited fury in check. But there's a crack, a fissure, as all of a sudden she says, "Don't I have a voice?" as some cold fury comes to the surface. That she, for a moment, her facade management fails, as she says it in a loud enough voice for people around her to hear it, exhibiting her almost sulky whine to the fact that she's not had a chance to speak. Of course, anybody else would realise the microphone's just moving down the line. We'll get to you in a moment. It's not like somebody said, "Don't let her speak," or the microphone has been moved away from her. But she can't contain herself. She can't help herself, but need to have that fuel, to have that sense of control again. And in order to do that, her narcissism has the problem of trying to keep that fury in check, and a bit of it breaks through. Undoubtedly, some people will have reacted turning their heads as she spoke, which will have given her some fuel and would have given her some sense of control. It's a fantastic example of the absence of her patience, the entitlement by which she operates, her bad manners, which are driven by her narcissism, the self-absorbed nature of this woman who believes that she should be the first to talk and indeed should be the only one talking and everybody else can go hang themselves. And the reaction is cold fury that pokes through the facade just for a moment. The article continues by explaining that, referring to this one's wife and Harry's Netflix deal, Sarah adds, "At last she can be heard loud and clear. It's obvious that she feels delighted to be home again." And of course, when she signs that deal, there's no William, there's no Catherine, and she is able to dominate. Harry, of course, is just the simp. He's the afterthought. He's the ginger poodle that does what he's told by his handler. She can be star of the show, because each and every day her narcissism reinforces that she is. Whether it's her walking around as one of our Jawas is missing when she goes shopping, or that she's sashaying down the aisle at the service of booing. Whether it's walking across a car park, imagining that there are loads of paparazzi cameras going off. Whether it's staring straight down the lens with Archie or a doll hanging around her neck, or staring down the lens at the ski slope at Whistler. Whether it's entering the last royal engagement late and thinking all of the applause is for her, that is the default setting of this woman. That she believes the world revolves around her. And when there is any instance where it doesn't, immediately her narcissism reacts with this fury. Sometimes heated, ignited fury, which is more likely to be the case behind closed doors, and with cold fury, which is more likely in instances of being in the public. And thus you see that in an event which was from years ago, her behaviours, again, you can see this has been going on for years. And those clown sugars that try to suggest that it isn't the case and that you can't just deduce something from interpreting a picture or her behaviours, you can, because there is just so much evidence of this behaviour that she's done it throughout her life and continues to do it each and every day moving forward. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.